All right, guys, welcome to the show. I got another show for you. Can't stop, won't stop. I don't even know what that was. I think it's from Chappelle's Show, right? Anyway, this show's starting out weird. All right, so I got a bunch of stuff for you. Got an amazing story about just how corrupt right-wing media is. Look, all mainstream media is corrupt to one extent or another, but this is next level. I'm going to lead with it in just a second. This should be bigger news than it is. Then we also have interesting poll numbers coming out of Iowa. Perhaps it's not totally over yet. I mean, look, Trump's got a giant lead. Let's not kid ourselves. But there are some data points which are a little bit eyebrow-raising that should maybe change everybody's view of it just a little bit. We also have Joe Rogan gets absolutely furious and pissed off at the guy who's apparently the head of the Babylon Bee, which is like the conservative version of The Onion. And he kind of breaks out that tone that he used on Candace Owens and the tone that he used on Dave Rubin to be like, do you even know what you're saying right now? It's a really interesting clip. I can't wait to show you that. And then also later on in the show, we have we're going to take a look inside Trump's new immigration plan. And boy, oh boy, is it dark. However dark you think it is way darker than that, okay? Just wait for it. Just wait for it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it here. So Semaphore is out. I don't even know. Is it Semaphore, Semaphore? I don't know how you pronounce it. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. They came out with this story a few days ago, and it is wild, man. So they say, Republican candidate told associates Newsmax tried to make him pay for coverage. You know, Vivek's been making some noise, gaining some followers, doing really well in certain state polls, and in the national polls, he's now surged into third place, but in some polls, he actually even eclipsed DeSantis, but still on the average, he's in third place. Either way, it's been a giant, giant surge from Vivek. So naturally, you would think, especially conservative networks, would be all over him. Well, no, it turns out they effectively were like, hey, dog, you want good coverage? You got to pay us. What? That is insanely, even for the media, that is insanely corrupt. So here's what they say. If Vivek Ramaswamy wants to appear on Newsmax, so it's to appear as well, he should pay to do it. That was the message that network chief Chris Ruddy delivered to the Republican presidential candidate during a private call earlier this summer, according to two people to whom the candidate described the conversation. Ramaswamy had complained that the right-leaning network was sticking him in little-watched midday slots or ignoring him outright. Ruddy also suggested a solution. Ramaswamy told associates, buy more television ads on the network. Ruddy, Ramaswamy told them, noted that such a transaction had helped Republican businessman Perry Johnson, a gadfly, that's a great word, candidate who has thus far garnered only passing attention among mainstream and even conservative outlets covering the 2024 presidential cycle. So let me pause here. This guy, I'm not kidding you guys when I say like 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know who this guy was, Perry Johnson. He's some businessman who looks like an embalmed carcass who's apparently running for president, and like he's nowheresville. But apparently Newsmax has been pumping him out all the time. Well, now we know why. Now we can see why they've been giving him favorable coverage. He's paying for it. In a statement, Newsmax spokesperson Bill Daddy, oh come on, Bill Daddy. It's unbelievable. Told Semaphore that the insinuation that Newsmax is asking candidates to advertise in order to ensure coverage as some quid pro quo is categorically untrue and incorrect. Newsmax would take an assertion such as that very seriously. There's no correlation between advertising and editorial visibility for any candidate on Newsmax. If candidates want to reach our audience outside of our programming, then of course advertising would be a good way for them to do this. That is the basis of all political advertising. Oh my God, I love this. So he's basically saying like, that's not true, while at the same time saying, yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, I mean, they should advertise if, they want to get their campaign. So you're saying the thing that you're saying you're not saying. Come on, man. Come on. This is so brazen. The spokesperson said that Newsmax was early to offer Ramaswamy airtime on the channel after he first announced, and that the network consistently covered all of the major and minor candidates, a number of whom have spent nothing with the network, such as Mike Pence and Nikki Haley. As is true for all networks, if candidates want to reach our audience outside of our programming, then of course advertising would be a good way for them to do this, the spokesperson said. That is the basis for all political advertising, whether it be on Newsmax, Fox News Channel, CNN, or MSNBC. In a letter to Semaphore after this article was published, a lawyer representing Newsmax, Mark Goidel, said Ruddy disputes the source's characterization of the call. Goidel said that since the telephone call, Ramaswamy has been invited to appear on Newsmax 6 times, but declined or canceled appearances 4 times, a point which the lawyer said was wholly inconsistent with any demand or request for a quid pro quo. Ramaswamy declined to comment. Look, it's a little bit of a he said, she said in this situation, and normally we'd have to look at the evidence that's presented here and kind of shrug and say, I don't know yet, it's not proven one way or the other, I'm just agnostic, we'll have to wait and see for more. But I think the thing that pushes this over the edge for me is that this guy, Perry Johnson, is getting positive coverage all over the place on Newsmax. And the only logical explanation for that is it's a money thing. It's a money thing. Now, also remember, Newsmax has been in a lot of hot water, man. Newsmax has been in a lot of hot water. They don't have the kind of money that a Fox News has. And so when they got caught up in all the rigged election nonsense, and you had Dominion or Smartmatic or both come after them, they're between a rock and a hard place. What are they going to do? They're probably looking in between the couch cushions to find pennies in order to keep the operation going. And so, look, I'm not a big fan of the guy. In fact, I find him incredibly goofy and silly, and he has odious ideas. But on this front, I kind of believe Vivek Ramaswamy. I kind of believe him. And I think it's just too perfect. Like, this is what we already kind of intuitively thought Newsmax is. I mean, it is, right? Like, it's a D-tier network. They're just, like, position themselves as, we are to the right of Fox News. We are even more insane. We are even more pro-Trump. And this is exactly what I would expect for them. Basically, no morals, no ethics, no scruples, and so bad at playing the game that they end up saying the quiet part out loud and getting somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy to even go, I don't know, man, that seems really corrupt. That's kind of wild that you would just say that. And so, of course, they're trying to clean it up after the fact. But anyway, there you have it. This is a big deal. I mean, it should be a bigger story than it is, but of course it involves Newsmax, so nobody really cares. But it just goes to show you, in mainstream media world, there's different tiers and levels to the absurdity, the corruption, and the goofiness, and Newsmax is clearly one of the worst. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.